Alright, here we go. I might do these videos in a couple shorter chunks instead of explaining everything all at once. And I also typed up some FAQs, some frequently asked questions, that I will attach. So if you'd rather read, go ahead and do that. And the information will be similar, but I'm sure it won't be the same. So I decided the trailer is currently parked in our driveway, and I decided to come out here for peace and quiet. And all the children's and the puppy dogs just followed me out here. So they've all left. A little bit of peace and quiet. Lighting's not awesome, but welcome to the main bedroom of our 374 BHS, which stands for bunkhouse. It is an open range. And this video, I'll just start with why the heck we got on this, how the heck we got on this idea, why, and how we got to where we are right now. So, I do still have one right there. So actually, we started researching extensive travel in the fall of 2020, and we were pretty hardcore into it. Watching a lot of things on YouTube, checking books out from the library, talking to people that did travel full-time or frequently. We took a tour of a Class A, which is the big drivable RV that kind of looks like a bus and everything's all inclusive within it. And that's the route we were looking at that time. And there just was a lot of, you wanted it to happen, but there were so many questions that I couldn't figure out the connections to and the answers to. And there were activities that my kids were going to participate in, and we didn't want to just rip them out of where they were at the time. So that kind of just put a pin in it, and I thought, well, Jason, maybe we'll do this when the older two are out and we'll take the younger two out for a while, or maybe just when all the kids are gone, we'll just get a smaller rig and go travel. Fine, that was done. The reason it came up in the first place was just because even though our lives are amazing and we love everything about them, we know that there's more, and we wanted to have more experiences. And Jason's been teaching for many years, and a lot of the same old, right? Even beyond teaching, Jason, we've lived where we live right now for 15 years. And since we moved here, I stopped teaching. And when I stopped teaching, I also stopped having that second income. But Jason has worked an additional at least one part-time job for almost that entire time of those 15 years. I think I can think of one summer that he didn't. At one point, he had a total of 4 jobs because he had a full-time job and 3 part-time jobs. There's been times in these kids' lives that he's definitely, gone before they get up, and they're in bed before he gets home. Or even now, he's usually in bed pretty early, more so than everybody else. So he's missed a lot of them being kids. I've had a great opportunity to stay home with them, but we also want to be able to spend more time together as a family before everybody starts leaving. Our 2 older kids are older. Annabelle actually graduated last year, and she has been working at the library this past year and living at home, and it's been great. I am in no rush to shove my kids out the door. They can stay. So fast forward to January of 22, when we were living our lives. We were doing the things we wanted to do. But this idea, and I can't really say why it popped back up again. I started to just more factors, like more little signs started to come into play. I started working with a group of people that do work from the road, entrepreneurs that like to camp a lot or travel a lot, and just more people in my experience in general that are doing this sort of thing. So I'm like, how those dots all connected, I don't ultimately really recall, but it popped up hardcore again in January of 2022. So that's 6 months ago, and it didn't stop. So I started researching again, and I started asking questions, and I now had these new connections of these people that were doing these things, and I would ask them questions, and these people are amazing to answer all my questions. more library books, more YouTube videos, more research. But it's kind of just trickled into not if it was going to happen, but when it was going to happen. And that our ultimate decision came down to, I shouldn't say ultimate, it still could have, gone a different way had the decision been different. But one of the things we were waiting for is Jason put in a request for a year leave of absence from school. And they're like, we never had this situation. We were completely honest with what we were going to do. We were going to take the year off, travel the country with our family, and we wanted to see what the options were if his job would be available when we came back. So they talked it over. They hadn't had this situation before. They said yes, as long as we can fill your position for a year. Turns out they did, and so that was kind of like, okay, that's our yes. It's a go. Here we go. So over the past months, we have heavily researched trucks. That was Jason's responsibility. Hardcore researched trailers. And where we started from is not where we ended up. We were thinking we were going to get a travel trailer, which is the ones that hook on to like a bumper and you pull it. We ended up with a fifth wheel. So kind of kept my options open the whole time, but was like, oh, this is what we're going to get. This is what we're going to get with my options open. And it's good to keep your options open because things changed quite drastically. I'll have the kids help me with a tour a little bit later. We haven't done anything to it yet, so you'll see it as is, and then we'll show it again as we add some personal touches to it. So anyways, things really just started to fall into place. The research, the learning, the Facebook groups that I found, there's one even called Full-Time Families for people that want to do this, and I was asking questions in there, and they're just very generous people with their time and knowledge. And it all came about. And it started happening. And we were pretty quiet with it for multiple reasons. One, I'm a pretty private person. I don't share a ton of stuff. That's the way that I want to be. Two, we wanted to make sure it was going to happen before we seemed all wishy-washy with what was going on. But also, one of the biggest things is this is kind of different and unique, and we did not want the naysayers. We did not want the people, we didn't want that negative energy is what it comes down to. The people that were really confused, the people who weren't going to be supportive, and you get both. And we just had to build up our barrier a little bit and be comfortable in what we were doing, and so that we knew what we were, what am I trying to say? Just so that our energies were right and that we weren't being knocked down by other people. So that's a big deal. That's a tip. If you're working on something big, part of it is keeping it low key so you can keep your energy and your positivity high on it and not be knocked down by other people. Right, Em? So, things started to fall into place. So much research on this trailer. I'll make that a completely different video because I don't want these to get too long. But really the why is we just want to explore. We want to show more to our kids. We want to help them grow. We want to grow. Traveling, I studied abroad in college, and that was one of the best experiences of my life. A hard experience being so far away from home, but an excellent experience and helped me immensely. So we want to provide those opportunities for our kids. We want to see the things. We want to do the things. We want to meet the people. Even though I'm not a huge people person. Actually, that's not true. I like people, but I can't people too long. We termed people as a verb a while ago. Done peopling now. So no offense to anyone. What else do I need to add to this one? Do you want to add anything to this one?
No.
Why do you think we're doing this?
So you can show us all my world.
So we can show him and them more of the world. There's lots of cool stuff out there. Wisconsin is an awesome place, and our plan is to come back, but there's more. There's more, and we want to go see it.